Chapter 1, Section 4, Pairs of Angles. By the end of the section, you should be able to identify pairs of adjacent angles and decide whether or not they form a linear pair. You should be able to define and find the measures of complementary and supplementary angles, and be able to identify pairs of vertical angles. Now, adjacent angles are two angles in the same plane with a common vertex and a common side, but no common interior points. So if we look right here, this is our common endpoint or vertex and a common side right here. So both of those angles, angle 1 and angle 2, share that one ray. A linear pair is a pair of angles, so two angles that are adjacent whose non-common sides are opposite rays. So angle 3 and 4 here represent a linear pair. Basically, they make a straight line. So it says in here, the exact definition says that we have the non-common sides, so this one and this one make opposite rays. So that's one of those words that we learned right in the beginning that we're going to keep building on. So they make 180 degrees all the way across. So tell whether the angles are only adjacent, adjacent and form a linear pair, or not adjacent at all. So first one, AEB is this angle here, and then our next one that we want to look at is BED. So here, here, here. So they share a common ray, so they are adjacent. And they also create 180 degrees, so that means that they are linear pairs. Now the next one, AEB, let's use a different color. AEB is this one here, and BEC. BEC is this one here. Now these two are adjacent, again, because they share this common ray, but they're not a linear pair. They don't form 180 degrees. So finally, the last one, DEC is this over here, and AEB, we've done that one a couple times. That is right here. So these two are not adjacent. They don't share a ray, and they definitely don't make a linear pair. I can identify pairs of adjacent angles and decide whether or not they form a linear pair. Give these next ones a try on your own, and we will go over the answers tomorrow in class before we take our quiz. So I'd pause the video right now, make sure you can answer these, and then move on. Complementary and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles whose measure add up to 90 degrees. Remember, the word sum means addition. So in this case, A and B are complementary because if you add 37 plus 53, you end up with 90. And they form a right angle. If we were to put these two together, we would end up with this 90-degree angle right here. Supplementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 180 degrees. So A and C here are supplementary. If you add 127 plus 53, you end up with 180. So this makes a linear pair. I always remember this. Complementary sounds a lot like the word compliment. It's the right thing to do to compliment someone. So right meaning a right angle. Right thing to do is to compliment someone. So I can define complementary and supplementary. Now let's do some examples with them. So find the measure of each of the following. If I am given angle F here of 59 degrees and am asked to find the complement, that means I need something to add to 90 degrees. So all we have to do is a little bit of subtraction. 90 minus 59 means that I need an angle of 31 degrees to make a right angle. And then supplement. This one's a little harder because it gives it to us in an X. But I need something that's going to end up equaling 180 degrees here. Now, it doesn't matter that we don't know what this X is. We're not asked to find X. We know that we need a total of 180 degrees, and we want to subtract what we already have taken advantage of, this 7x plus 10. Make sure that this is in parentheses because we want to subtract all of this. So if we were to simplify it, we would have 7x minus 10. We have to distribute that. So really, this is 170 minus 7x. Again, we're not asked to find x, we're just asked to find the supplement, which would be 170 degrees minus whatever 7x is. So now you should be able to define and find the measures of complementary and supplementary angles. One more problem. An angle is 10 more than 3 times the measure of its complement. Find the measure of the complement. So remember, complement means 90 degrees. So draw us a little picture here. The two angles together are going to add to this 90 degrees. And the only thing we know is how they're related. So let's just draw two angles inside of here. And it says one angle is 10 more than 3 times the measure of its complement. So we don't know what the complement is. Let's call it x. And then the other angle has to be 3 times plus 10. 10 more than 3 times. And then we know these two things have to add up to 90 because they're complementary. So let's do some algebra. The first one, 3x plus 10, plus the second one, which is just x, has to add up to 90. So then if we go to solve this, we have some x's that we got to combine here. So 4x plus 10 equals 90. And then subtract 10 from both sides. So we get 4x has to equal 80. And then if we divide both sides by 4, we end up with x is 20. And we're just asked to find the measure of the complement, which is what we just did. We said it was x, so it's 20 degrees. You can find the other one. It should be 70, because remember it has to add to 90. And you can always check it. 3 times 20 plus 10 will definitely give you 70. So again, I can define and find the measures of complementary and supplementary angles. Vertical angles are angles across from each other. So in this case, angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles, and angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. Now the awesome thing about vertical angles is they are equal to each other. We're not going to do anything with that just yet, but these blue angles here, 2 and 4, are equal to each other, and angle 1 and 3 here are equal measures. So I can identify pairs of vertical angles, so let's check it. Name the pairs of vertical angles. So we have a couple points here, and we have 2 sets of vertical angles. Doesn't matter which one you name first. But right here is a vertical angle to right here. So I would say the angle HML is a vertical angle to angle JMK. And then the other ones are angle here, or angle here. So angle HMJ is a vertical angle to angle LMK. And that's all we're going to do in this section is just identify our vertical angle pairs. And then we'll eventually do some more stuff with them. So you should be able to identify pairs of adjacent angles and decide whether or not they form a linear pair. You should be able to define and find the measures of complementary and supplementary angles, and be able to identify pairs of vertical angles. Have a good night.